Hey guys, Ryan here. In today's video, I'm going to be covering 3 tips that I think are going to really help you guys raise your KD. One of the hardest things to do in Warzone is to consistently boost your KD in a positive direction. In this video, the 3 things I'm going to go over are this. Understand the art of thirsting. Number 2 is stop looting and start shooting. And the third is sprint a little less and aim down sight a little more. Now, I have a good bit to say for each of these topics, and I'm going to break it down way further when I get to it. But I just hope you guys stick around for all of it because I genuinely think these are going to help you. You guys don't have to you don't have to subscribe. But if you enjoyed the video, I really, really appreciate it. And I just want to say thank you guys for even watching this video. But let's get into it. So, first things first is going to be the art of thirsting. In so many fights, it's crucial that you do kill the down people that may have self-revive or maybe revive later in the fight. But one of the best ways to do it is by using a throwing knife and understanding when not to do it. I'm going to cover the throwing knife section first, and then I'll go over when not to do it and when to really, really prioritize it. But the main thing with throwing knife is this, guys. It saves you bullets, and it saves you time on reloading, and then it saves you time on plating. Because instead of shooting that down person, you can either be reloading your gun if need be, or you can instantly go into plating. It's really easy to just use a throwing knife to finish the guy. You then swoop up, take his plates, take his ammo, get back in the fight, plate up, and keep going. If you have to take the time to shoot someone, that's going to cause you to reload later in the fight or not have bullets to use in the meantime. And it's going to take away time that you could be used to either be reloading or plating up. So that's why I really, really recommend throwing knives. Now, one of the biggest mistakes I see in Warzone is people over prioritize finishing that one person they got down when they still have 2 to 3 more people to kill. So many people have a chance to wipe a full squad, get a nice 1v2 or 1v3. They'll hear the people close after they down the first guy, and rather instead of playing to kill the second and third guy, they'll just go to kill the one guy they got down. Think about it from a kill-death ratio perspective. If you kill one person and you die, that just leaves you at a 1-to-1. But if you kill one person, you reposition, you plate up, you kill another, then you go, you plate up, and you kill a third, that's 3 for 1. That's a 3 KD boost right there. Now, yes, it matters how many deaths you're going to end within the game, but those are the types of plays that will allow you to raise your KD. And that's the types of plays that if you do consistently will make you a better player. The key about raising your KD is becoming a better player, and becoming a better player is understanding these small things. Now, on the flip side, when you are in a 1v3 or a 1v2 or even a 1v4, if there's room for you to use that throwing knife to finish someone, you got to take it. It's not always going to be the right play to not thirst, and that's where it's key to find the balance. Sometimes if you don't thirst, what's going to happen is that guy that you didn't kill, even though you had the room and space to, is going to get revived and he's going to end up killing you. So you got to find the balance, master it, understand how to use the throwing knife and why it's so important, and just make sure you guys are optimizing the time in between everything you're doing. Plate up quick, reload fast, get in position, and win those 1v3s and boost your KD up. But let's move on to the second part. And this is going to be stop looting and start shooting. Guys, I cannot stress this enough. If you want to get a lot of kills, you have to cover a lot of ground on the map, you have to get a lot of resources, and you have to not be thinking about these loot boxes and whatnot. You have to be thinking about things like kills. You have to prioritize when it's good to just pass up loot and understand how to get to fights, how to get to the area where there's multiple people, and how to win those fights. Too often, I see squads kill some people, they'll call in a UAV, they won't see anyone nearby. They'll wait, they get their loady, they hang around, they loot all the side buildings, and they just wait for people to show up. They do not force fights, they don't cover ground, and that's one of the best ways you can raise your KD. In Warzone, guys, you're almost guaranteed to die once or twice per game, and you're not going to really win every game, and you have the gulag to deal with. So one of the main things that you have to understand is you have to up the amount of kills you're getting if you really, really want to see your KD go up. I know that does not mean you have to go play for 20 kills or 30 bombs or whatnot, but what you have to do is you have to understand that getting 2 to 3 kills while getting 2 to 3 deaths isn't going to ever really help your KD. Now, it's good to get that 1 KD balance, but sometimes you get bought back. Sometimes your friends get that most wanted. And so, one of the key things is, guys, and I can't stress it enough, is you have to up the amount of kills you're getting. And the best way to do that is by stop looting and start shooting. I mean, cover the ground. Understand where you think people are going to be. Understand the flight path, the rotations people usually make, and just common hot zones. That's one of the best ways to find kills. But the other thing is, it's one of the best ways to make you a better player. People don't put themselves in enough engagements. They don't get enough experience in the different types of gunfights you can experience in Warzone. So they'll panic when they get into situations they're not familiar with, and that's what's going to get them killed. And one of the only ways to get better is to lose. It is to die. That is how I got so much better. It's how I consistently raise my KD, is when I die, I just think about exactly what I could have done to be better, and I accept, hey, I died, it's okay, move on to the next one, and just try and be better. It's not that simple always. Sometimes it's frustrating, and sometimes, you just have really bad days. All in all, just pick up the pace, get in more fights. It's going to make you a better player. It's going to get you more kills, and it's going to help your KD. And this third and last one is going to be sprint a little less and aim down sight a little more. One of the biggest things I can tell people is to learn the art of pre-aiming, learn how to center well, and learn how to predict where your opponents are going to be and understand sound cues. If you go into a fight already aimed down sight on someone who's sprinting, you will win that fight 9 out of 10 times unless you just whiff your shots. The reason why is almost every gun in Warzone has between 120 millisecond to 270 millisecond sprint to fire time. And so that means that when they get done sprinting, there's about 250 milliseconds for some guns before they can shoot you. So you have a huge advantage in that fight. You're going to come out on top most of the times. And one of the best ways to do this, guys, is utilize sound cues. And what that means is I'll often hold an angle, I'll sit around a corner, and when I hear people sprinting and I can hear their footsteps, dun 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 dun, that's when I'll peek. I'm not going to peek when they're waiting and they're aiming at me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for them to sprint at me so they're caught in that sprint to fire time, and I'm going to capitalize, and I'm going to use good movement, a little jump around a corner into a drop shot or a little bunny hop, and that's going to allow me to win the fight and delete them. This also applies to when you come into buildings, when you push upstairs, and so many other situations. If you just stop sprinting a little sooner, you're going to find yourself winning so many more gunfights because you're not going to be caught out in that sprint to fire time. And the other thing to realize is certain guns have a much, much better sprint to fire time than other guns. And that's why certain times you don't feel as bad when you get caught out. And that's why sometimes you feel absolutely terrible when you get caught out by someone. When you're running something like the Stoner or a heavy AR and someone just comes out of nowhere, it can feel terrible and like you have absolutely no chance. But when you're using a Mac 10 or the OTS 9 and someone comes out of nowhere, sometimes you just jump shot them and beam them and it feels amazing. And that's going to be because of the differences in sprint to fire time. So that's why I do say less sprinting, more aiming down sight. It should result in you getting more kills. It should result in you boosting your KD. And it should result in you having a better time when you play Warzone. So guys,